Hello, everyone, and once again, thank you so much for joining us here tonight with me, Jan Hart, and my wonderful husband, Mr. Chris.
How you doing? Good night, everybody.
Late night with Chris and Jan. So, trending news. It's no fun to do Who's the Weakest Link tonight because once again, that was me. And I'm starting to see a pattern here. So I'm going to work on changing that pattern. So we won't point out my failures for today. Just know I was intermingling with clients all day, and I did use sanitizer. I tried my best, but at the end of the day, I had to do stuff today. I had to take people to do things. You have people who have 2 items of food in their refrigerator. Or,
that's true.
They don't know how to cook. They might have severe mental health. And so I did not know that this client was getting like 3 days worth of food from McDonald's each trip.
Wow.
I just thought to myself, sometimes you don't ask the right questions. But, those are some of the realities that are going on right now in communities is that, people are trying to figure out an entire new way of living and doing and, getting the things that they need. So,
it's going to be very tough coming up.
Yes. Let's talk about what's coming up. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, but especially for the next 30 days, because it doesn't look like any of us are going anywhere out the house. Really fact check it. But from what I understand, Florida will be on a 30-day quarantine to the house. As far as New York goes, you have to actually have a letter that says that you have essential work outside of your house. So if you don't have that letter, then you're out of luck. But then I guess you get fined, and you're being.
You need that?
Hmm?
You need that letter?
Do I need that letter?
New Yorkers.
Oh yes, New Yorkers need the letter. No, I don't need the letter because I'm not going anywhere anymore. I'm not doing anything. I was playing that little game. I thought it was going to be fun. I thought I was going to point out everybody else besides me, but it comes to find out I'm the weakest link. So one of the things that I found earlier today was out of Forbes. So if you want to Google it, you'll put in Forbes and then you type in why exponential growth is so scary for the COVID-19 coronavirus. So why exponential growth is so scary is because, so I wrote it down because I didn't want to try to do the phone thing again. So I wrote it down this time.
It's going to show backwards.
It's not showing backwards. I looked at it. It's not backwards. It looks straight to them, backwards to us.
Okay.
So on Forbes, it gives you this chart and it explains exponential growth. So on this top line right here, this is linear growth. Okay, so you see how the numbers go up, 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 up. But this is exponential growth. So some of us may be able to remember learning exponents. Some of us, maybe not so much so. Not like we use that every single day.
Exactly.
If you think about exponential growth, you know that numbers start jumping pretty quick. So you see like in the beginning, the numbers are kind of low. It's like it's not really that big of a deal. But then you hit like, okay, if there's 64 and then we make that an exponent, then now we start getting into the hundreds and very quickly get into the thousands. And so that's the situation. Exponential growth is that rush that we were supposed to be trying to avoid. But so that was on Forbes. What's your thoughts about are we ready for exponential growth? Is this a new conversation for us, exponential growth? Do we understand exponential growth?
No, we don't. We do not understand exponential growth at all. We don't get it, and we're not going to get it. So on to the next subject. On to the next subject, please.
Okay, so all right, let me also point this out. Okay, exponential growth. Think of it also.
I thought it was going to something else.
All right, just this one last point. Okay, so with the exponential growth, just think about this. Okay, so in the broader international community where they've been applying social distancing, you have it where every 6 days the numbers double, right? So every 14 days is when you get that exponential hit. So if your numbers don't double until 6 days, that gets you a lot closer to the 14-day exponential hit, when your exponential hit can then be substantially lower. And now you're saying, okay, we're flattening the curve. We together? Good, I'm glad. Okay, so once you look at those numbers and you say, okay, in the international community, because they're doing social distancing, things are working out for them, right? But okay, we're over here now in the US where we have not been doing anything. And our doubling is happening every 2-point-something days. So I'm just going to round up because it was like 2.6 or 7 to every 3 days. So every 3 days, the amount of people who are being exposed and possibly be affected is doubling every 3 days, which is twice, the rate of the international community. So that just gives you a little glimpse. I really want people to kind of understand the exponential growth, because that gives you a glimpse on where we are in attacking this thing. We can look at other countries and say, okay, social distancing is working, so on and so forth, but it works when you work it. What you think?
But in Florida, I think we're probably growing faster. We're getting more cases quicker than a lot of people now. So hopefully they can get that under control. We can get that under control.
But for this article, you were supposed to be the hopeful voice while I was giving all of the numbers.
See, but I don't understand the numbers and everything else with it, because I just watched them on TV and people being affected, and we still shooting up. We are not peaking out. We're not doing anything. It's just going up.
Sadness.
Exactly.
Sadness.
For our governor willingness not to jump on this as quick as he should have. He followed the president. And that's why we're in the situation we're in. And we have a higher vulnerable community also. So that makes him very, very shameful. So now we move on to the next thing.
Okay. Definitely go on to the next thing. We're not going to talk about the shamefulness of anybody. We didn't say anybody was shameful. Okay. So best case scenario. So now, remember I was saying we're going to talk about perspectives on this show. We're going to try to, encourage you to look at things just a little bit differently. Just dig a little bit past the surface. Remember, Google and YouTube are your best friends, right? So they've been saying to you over and over again that best case scenario is 100 to 200,000 deaths. Okay, so if you look on other sites, like even in this Forbes article, look in that article, and you will see that they have one curve. But if you are a late starter or you weren't doing anything to try to curb this issue, this is your curve, right? But now if you did do something to kind of curb this issue and, put some things in place, barriers to keep it from just rising and skyrocketing, then they had a best case curve. That curve was substantially smaller, right? But that was the best case scenario. And according to this same article, if I'm not mistaken, yes, according to the same article, many public health officials have stated that this disease is now past the point of being able to be contained. So that means that we are outside of the best case scenario, little bubble. We're outside of that.
It's a plan. It's a plan.
What's the plan? Because they get sick too.
I just think it's a plan. It's just a plan, overall plan. It's got to be.
Only planning going on. So on to other news. All right. Many people are being forced to use technology right now. A lot of us may think that that's crazy because we are used to being on our phones. We're used to being on social media. So it just seems like, everybody is on social media. Everyone's doing this. But no, a majority of people just, would tinker a little bit. Maybe they use it for their new form of, mail. Like they'll email, like grandparents, they'll email. They'll look at pictures.
Our kids are using technology.
Yeah, the kids. But yeah.
We just learning.
Just learning. So
I still don't know how to do Instagram. I'm just learning Twitter, and I hate Twitter.
Don't say that. You're saying something to get us in trouble. But now think about this, right? You have people who are now going to be locked in for 30 days. They're trying to make that, across the United States. They want the governors to come together and they want them to come up with a unified plan on how they're going to lock down all the states so that people can't just run from one state to another, trying to avoid being on isolation.
So they're going to have a governor's ball? So that's 50 governors. With the lieutenant, that's 100. Probably security, that's probably be 500 people. That's a ball. That's a party.
They're coming together to have like a summit on it.
That's another. They don't want us to gather, but they get to gather. See it now? That's what I'm talking about.
They have to come together to come up with a plan. I'm sure they're gonna
Zoom, but they ain't gonna
do social
They're gonna get their planes and buses. And exactly, it's ridiculous.
But the governors are being asked to come together. They're not partying.
Okay, all right.
This is important.
That's what you say.
Into that. All right. So you have people who are going to be home for 30 days. People who are learning how to work from home. Some people, had that capability, but most people did not. So now you're learning how to work from home. So the more you get used to being home, getting used to have delivery coming in, so that's going to change the landscape of how we, normally live our regular day-to-day routine, right? So as that happens, then what's going on with the kids? Is anybody thinking about the kids right now? Like, I mean, those are the people. Yeah, those are the little people, that we should be thinking to ourselves, like, what is this doing to them? It was like maybe a day or two ago when my son finally said something about, being home. But in their mind, it's like, why can't I go outside? More so, why am I not going to school? He's like, well, I just want to enjoy my spring break. And I'm like, your spring break's been over for like almost 2 weeks now. Not only do I want you to not spend all your time on the computer with recreation, but I want you to spend your time on the computer doing your homework. Before it was like they were just researching their homework, but now it's like you have to do your entire curriculum on the computer.
Yes.
And so what happens to all of those kids who the only thing that they know about the computer is what they do on a phone? And they have to do their entire curriculum. They don't have a computer. They don't have a computer. And so they're going to have to do their whole curriculum online, but they have no computers. So now they're going to be even further behind than they might possibly have been when this whole thing started.
But then what do we do about that?
So I mean, I think
the year might be over.
That's what I'm saying. I think we all kind of have the same consensus that no matter, if they give us a 14-day, we already know that's nonsense. 30 days, we kind of like, yeah. But in the bigger picture, we know kids 9 times out of 10 are not going back to school this year, so they can wait to announce it. But I mean, that's
probably it.
So at the end of the day, it's about the kids. We're talking about Twitter and we're talking about this and that, and most of the time I access those things right from my phone. So the thing is I know most kids have their their interaction with technology via some type of mobile device. And if that's the case, and now they have to come over and they have to use a laptop or a computer and they don't have it, you have 30 days where we really can't do any movement. So that means they can't use the computer at the library. They can't use the one that might be on the rec center on site. They really don't have a way to keep up with what's going on. And I just want to talk about it just a little bit because I'm hoping that we are trying to stay proactive even in light of a bunch of situations going on in society that's kind of saying, like, you don't have to be proactive. Like, just wait and see what happens. Like, no, like, we need to be proactive and we kind of need to think, like, what are going to be the needs when this thing is over. And I'm truly, truly hoping that, the activists out there, even though I'm a firm believer in homeschooling, and if you can't homeschool, then utilize, one of those programs, whether it's like Step Up for Students. It's definitely about the kids. So I'm just saying, like, while you're home, please take a moment and find online groups. Like, you can be so supportive right now by finding an online group, by finding a movement that's in your area. Now you have time to support them. Share their their events that they've had previously. Leave them a recommendation. Let someone know that, hey, I've interacted with them and they had great customer service, so I interacted with them. And, they were very, very helpful. If you need X, Y, and Z, whatever it is that they promote or whatever service it is that they provide, let people know what it is and promote to the, community to utilize them. Because when all of this smoke clears, the people who are going to be ahead of the game are those people who were utilizing technology. And the unfortunate side to that is that those people who are not, including the children, who are not able to access technology, unfortunately, those people are going to be left behind. And That's just the unfortunate.
And also, we can take this time to get to know our kids better.
Yes.
And hang out and talk with them.
Definitely. But, kids are going to change. The thing is to get to know your kids at the beginning of the pandemic here. And that way you can have an idea of how their personality is being affected by being in the house, being away from school, or just where's their confidence level when it comes to, any type of a routine. Are they able to sit down and tell themselves that, hey, I can get this if I keep trying, or are they getting really frustrated really easily because they know that if they show that frustration and possibly mom doesn't know or dad doesn't know, how to do the problem themselves, then by me throwing a little tantrum, I get to get up from the computer and get to moving. That's not going to work when school comes back, So leave it in the comments. What do you think about homeschooling? Are you interested in homeschooling when the new school year comes in? Did you know that there are resources to help you do that, and so on and so forth? So drop it in the comments or shoot me a inbox on Jan Harp or Jeanette Grace, whichever social media platform you're watching this on, Instagram, Holonis, all of those folks.
I think we're supposed to have so many schools after this is over.
Yes, are you interested in starting a school?
We got it for our kids, because the public school system is horrible.
Go trying to get us in trouble. I'm not trying to see, even Grace heard you. She hears you trying to make people angry with us.
I'm not making people angry. They already know that. We already said that already. How are we making them angry?
What did you say again? Say it again.
Mm-hmm. The public school system is horrible.
Now, what did I say?
Mm-hmm. It's a prison to pipeline.
I said that the parents are no longer okay with the school to prison pipeline.
Thank you. Same thing. So which school is that?
It's not the same thing.
It is the same thing. No, that doesn't sound really mean, because we always feel that way, but some people like it and some people don't. I've always told people that. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Always. Not that I didn't use it. You know why I say that? Mm-hmm. Because I had kids there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's why I say that, because I know what it did to them.
Yes.
So I can't know. Horrible.
And so I can see the difference between one that came from public school system and one that is now in a private school system. The confidence level is completely different.
Completely.
Not in a private school, like, first thing you think to yourself is, oh, he's in a private school. You put him over there with the other people and blah, 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 blah. No, I didn't put him with the other people. I put him with our people. He's seeing his own self represented every day in his teachers and in the other students. We have private schools.
Exactly.
Why haven't you found one?
Thank you.
That's when you should have told me that I'm being.
When?
I didn't mean to say that so mean.
Say mean to what?
Why haven't we found any? Like, why haven't you found one? It's not even gonna cost you anything in most instances. It's not gonna cost you anything to switch.
No.
I don't understand it. You know what it costs? It costs for you to have to go out of your way to probably reach it.
And it brings the best out your kids too. You find out how smart your kids are too. And it brings out the best in them too. Yeah. So
that's one of those moments. That's the defining moment that you have to ask yourself. Is my child being in an environment that will nurture their full potential worth me having to possibly, instead of being able to walk us all to the school, or maybe my child be able to walk on their own to school, I have to get up earlier and I have to get the baby dressed and we have to get on the bus and we have to go drop so and so off at their school, and then I have to go back home, and then in a few hours I got to get back on the bus and I got to do the whole thing again and blah 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 blah. I get it.
It's worth it.
But that's the thing, is it worth it to you? And apparently a lot of other people think it's worth it, because even though depending on what kind of income you make, it can possibly be free. But, there's a lot of people who actually pay a lot of money for their child to go to private school. And I don't think that they would do that if both systems were the same. Mm-hmm. If both systems, because it's not as though there's only minorities in public schools. No, there's all types of kids in public schools. But I think that when a person has the means and the resources to put their child somewhere else, they do so because they realize that really no matter what color, race or, culture they identify with, everyone in that system comes out with their own set of issues. They come out with issues. So that, it's producing societal issues in little people.
Exactly. But my thing is with public schools also is that how much they've changed from how they used to be to now. There's a big difference. educational wise and it's just I don't understand it now.
Yeah, it's definitely a change in time. It's not what it used to be. And I think that this, I said it before, I'm going to say it again. This is our reset button,
Yes.
This is supposed to be a fun vlog. We're just, sticking around and in the virtual community. We're just putting ourselves out there so we can stick around on your news feed, with these vlogs, especially because, as more people come online, sooner or later, even the algorithms that we've come to, adapt to, boom, they're about to change again, so.
Exactly.
Yeah, you have to stay, on top of things right now because everything is moving, everything is changing. And so my thing is to remind you that this is our reset button. Okay, this is a time when people get rich. This is a time where if you have $50, you need to figure out how to invest. This is a time for you to take YouTube, take Google, and make it your best friend. There's a reason why certain countries have said that, we're going to limit how much people could interact with the internet and blah, blah, blah.
That's absolutely right. I never thought about that, though, but you're absolutely right.
There's a reason. Everything is for a reason. I mean, like, people in power do not want to just turn it over because you're sad about the fact that you don't have power.
Never. Just not giving that away.
So, what I am pushing you to, be mindful of is, just think about what you're thinking about. Look at your perspective. What we really want to get across with, these vlogs is that you have creative power. You have drive that you can kick into gear, and you can utilize what is already creatively in you to reset generational lines. You can truly, I know it sounds like so grandiose, but no, like when people start businesses, they become the talk of their family, like, oh, such and such started a restaurant. Oh, such and such started a travel agency. And, people, yes, there's some people who are sitting there trying to see if you're going to fail. Who cares?
Exactly.
Who cares? You can't just let the idea that, I could possibly fail and then, they could possibly laugh at me. You can't let that keep you from getting started. You can't let the fact that you
That's right.
might not can read very well. I know someone, he was just telling me, I don't know all that reading stuff, but I know how to work hard.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, we just talked about the kids who.
No, it's a pillowcase he cut up.
But it was ingenious. And I'm sure he went home with enough money in order for him to help towards a light bill or at least get some food if necessary. They was able to get. His
mama is so mad because he cut up all her pillowcases. But
if she's a visionary, she will then look at the fact that, well, if you sold it for $3 to $5, if I just go to Walmart, I can get 2 new pillowcases for like $1.29.
Exactly. Cut them up too. There you go.
Because you're making a profit. Even if he was only making $1 profit, which I think he's more than doubling, his profit margin. But if he was even only making $1, that's $1 more than he had. It made the endeavor worth it. He can replace the pillowcases without taking away from the profit.
There you go.
So my thing is, it's like, look around for information. Look around for examples. Now, tomorrow at 11:30, we are going to have Miss Jacqueline Briggs on the show. She will be our very first guest. Like I said, tomorrow. So tomorrow on Friday, we're going to have Miss Jacqueline Briggs. So if you are on Facebook or Instagram, you can look her up. She is Jacqueline Briggs on Facebook, and her topic is going to be cryptocurrency. So
more math.
I'm not worried about the math. I just want the information on what I'm supposed to do.
She's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
She's awesome with
I
that.
tune out for math.
One of her events is awesome. It is awesome, though.
Yes. She has all different kinds. She's multiple streams of income. She has numerous creative ideas, which she is, putting out there into the community as, different revenue sources, because you have people who like different things. So she does everything from cryptocurrency all the way to the other end of the spectrum, where she talks about, women's menstrual health. So, I mean, it's just some of everything. But tomorrow we will be discussing cryptocurrency. So join us for that, conversation where we're going to do our best to break it down, to the simplest, denominator, the simplest foundation. We're going to break it all the way down.
I'm going to be there because I'm going to be asking the crazy questions and simple questions all of y'all are ashamed to ask. So don't even worry about it. I'll be there to do that for y'all. I'll ask all the shameless questions that need to be asked because I don't know anything. So that's what I'm going to ask. Don't worry about it. We're going to take care of that.
Make sure you understand. We want to make sure we cover a lot of different aspects of how you can invest your money no matter what level you're on. Even if all you have is $10 a month, we're going to find someone to talk to you. So, just keep checking in with us every evening at 11:30 p.m. At least for the next 30 days. We're going to definitely be here. We'll be right here because we're not going anywhere.
Get cabin fever.
I love being in the house. I'm not going to be bothered at all, and I'm actually
Cabin
getting started,
fever.
so it's no...
She love being in the house because you got everything you need in here. You let food go low. I don't know what y'all... Let some coffee run out. You what?
See, that's when you went too far, but I'm stocked up. I'm stocked up. I have about 3 months worth of coffee. They said they're going to let me outside to go to the grocery store. They said they'll let you outside to go to the grocery store.
But if they don't have the coffee.
See, it's making my skin feel. It's the case for a lot of people.
It is.
You know what? That actually transitions us right into my nightly appeal. So if you are seeing this and you are capable, so let me just divert for 1 second. Can I divert for a second? So now you have, I'm not gonna say no names, but you have a man who is worth $100 million?
Yes.
$100 million. Okay.
He's
at least $100 million, and he has a GoFundMe page. So when I heard it on RT News on America's Lawyer?
Mm-hmm.
America's Lawyer. Okay, and so
with these celebrities and they nonsense.
Yes, the celebrities who are going online creating GoFundMes, and it's not like they're doing it secretive. They have their name, like it's their GoFundMe page, and we are donating. Not us. When I say we, I'm just talking about us as the 99%. Like we're the collective. Like people.
They want their fans and stuff to donate. It's just ridiculous.
There are people out there who will give someone who has $100 million
so he can continue his business to to continue paying his employees.
His payroll.
You got $100 million. Are you kidding me? I'm pretty sure you could pay a lot of people for a long time. Because I'm pretty sure your employees ain't making that much. So it's restaurants. So come on now. Really?
And on top of it, you're going to get stimulus money.
Thank you. You're going to get money for that.
Now, the people who are donating, because I know they're regular people because I looked and it's like $20 here, $10 there. So you're giving all of this money to help someone who, yes, truly needs help, their employees, but why isn't their boss helping? That is just part of the indication. What's the because?
Socialism.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what it is.
They don't want us to have no socialism.
Socialism. They get everything for free. Everything. But they don't want regular people to have none of that. But they have it. Been had it for years. For years.
Yeah, they get free everything. They get all kinds of money.
Free everything.
They get all kinds of stuff. Insider information, all kinds of things.
Medical insurance.
That's us on a tangent. In the big picture, what we're saying is that we
I
can do this.
Myself doing that.
We can do this together. Jesus. We can do this together. And so the same way there's people out there who will fund foolishness, because to me that's foolishness. There should be responsive. There should be, instead of him having raised, what did I say? It was like 11,000 or 21,000, something like that.
Something like that, 11,000.
Like $11,000.
People should have been there berating them.
Exactly. It should have been 11,000 comments on there saying, you have $100 million where most of us don't even have 100 pennies right now. And
people don't even have jobs now or whatever else.
And you want us to pay your payroll when the government is going to also give you money for your payroll, that they're going to forgive the loan, while the government is saying that when it comes time for you to do your taxes next year, you're not going to have as much as you think you're going to get back because they're advancing you your tax credit. And then you're going to take money out your pocket and give it to these celebrities instead of holding them accountable and sending a comment that says, like, why are you asking people for money?
Exactly.
I didn't even understand that. With us, we do not benefit from the money that is being given for the cause of assisting families with case management. So every dollar that we get goes back into direct services for the families who get in contact with us and have essential needs that are going to allow them to keep going with their effort for self-sufficiency. And what we call that is case management. And somebody told me one time, they said, well, what is case management? I don't even know what that is. And so I'm like, oh, I took that for granted. Well, case management means that the person has someone who can give them expert knowledge about the resources that are available in the community. It may seem like, oh, well, everyone should know, but no, a lot of people don't. A lot of people, they may have been in tough times before, but before maybe family members were in a position to be able to help. But as our economy continues to get, more stretched and more strained, and people have less resources for themselves, now you have to look outside of your family for assistance, because everybody is in a bind, So
That's right.
Now that you're looking outside of the family and you're trying to figure out, okay, where do I go? You keep hitting all these brick walls, and then after a while, you find yourself with no housing because maybe you couldn't pay. Even if you couldn't pay your water bill for too long, you can lose housing.
And a lot of resources change too. So that's a big thing too. When you used to can call for help, you can't call no more.
Because agencies go out of business all the time.
They went out of business, or they just stopped doing what they were doing. So
yeah, people get burnt out. All kinds of things happen. So what we are asking is that you would trust us, that we're saying to you that we can do this together. There are going to be people who call us. Sometimes it's the very people who were in a position where, hey, they had achieved, some level of stability, and they could have given back, and they didn't. And then when the time came that they were in dire straits and they needed something, I'm sorry, but there's no resources for you. There's been times where we've had to say we do not have resources, where we send them out to other places, and those places are saying we don't have any resources either. Even right now, as we were looking for food, most places are saying we don't have food either. So the thing is that, we have to pull together our resources. We have to, even if it's only $1, $2, we have to pull together our resources. So we really appreciate you for helping us to spearhead the effort to offer this case management to families. We've been doing this for over 3 years in the Pinellas County area. So it's not a new thing. If you want to see more about us, please visit Firmly Established on Facebook. If you go to in our comments where you see this video, then you will see that it says the website for the nonprofit, and it will also say the website where you can see all of our services. So if you go to holisticcoaching.info, when you're looking through our services, you'll also see nonprofit services, and just click there and you can give your donation right from that portal. So we definitely greatly appreciate you for tuning in tonight. Any closing words, Mr. Chris?
Stay supporting each other and helping each other. And good night.
Good night. But
hey, I thought I'd never see shelves empty in Walmart. I seen a whole row.
Wasn't that strange? That was like
a whole row. Maybe a shelf or two, not a whole row. I can't go
not
down,
even a shelf,
look
like
down
a row, just like
and not see not one
item.
piece of anything. I saw that at Walmart.
Crazy.
It was a whole row and a meat section that didn't have anything but a pack of open chicken. I don't know if somebody took a piece out of it, put it in their pocket, but that was it. Like, what?
We laughed, but that ain't funny.
Shirt down a little bit? No, I really didn't, but it's gonna go right back up because I'm chilling, and we're chilling, so. It's a tight t-shirt. What am I supposed to do? All my clothes are tight. You get fat on quarantine.
Yep. So, thank you so much for joining us here again on Late Night with Chris and Jan.